Hello again, fellow modelers. Armando here with DLC Model Builders, and I'm beginning my next superhero figure build in my superhero building series. I have chosen the yellow Wolverine as my next subject. This is another kit from Mike Baldwin at Underworld Kits, 1/6 scale. Classic yellow Wolverine. I've already been doing some prep work on it. This is how he looks. You can go to his Facebook page, Mike Baldwin's Facebook page. I've referred to it in the past, Underworld Sculpture, and you will see pictures of the a buildup of this kit. Let's just go through it, and I will tell you what I've done so far. This is a 1/6 scale resin kit. Original mold from Mike Baldwin. One of many of his superhero figures. I've built a couple already, as you know, Superman and Batman, and the quality is just as good in this guy. Excellent detailing, as you can see. The usual slight flash ridges from the contact of the two halves of the mold as the resin is poured. I've been working on those for the past couple of days, sanding them down and filling in whatever defects are there with some putty, green putty. I ran out of the white, and still got a little bit of work to do to fill in the pits. There was a little bubble at the tip of this ear here, but I'm going to fix that. Shouldn't have an issue. Once this dries, I'll sand it down. The boots, again, they've been puttied. I have to sand them down. The hands, I've got some sanding done on this one. This one still needs to have a little bit of sanding done. This gives you an idea of some of the issues with the contact flash ridge that forms. There it is right there. Has to be sanded down so it disappears. Same on the other side. Not too bad. These kits are such good quality that it isn't a big deal. You always expect a bit of prep work on your resin kits. Here's the claws. There's one individual one. They'll have to be filed and sanded a little bit and fit so that they fit well in here. They're supposed to go in the hands sort of like that. I haven't decided exactly what color I'm going to paint these with. It's definitely going to be alclad, a metallic. I was thinking of using the chrome, but I think that might be a bit too shiny for Wolverine's claws. I might go ahead and use the stainless steel, which I think probably looks the closest to adamantium, the material that he's supposed to have inside his bones and which makes up his claw. Let me pull up a picture of a built up one so you have an idea of what he's supposed to look like. It's a pretty nifty looking figure. I really like it. Internet's a little slow. Alright, here we go. He also has a brown one, which I have the figure as well. I'll be building that sometime in the future, but I figured I'd start with the classic yellow, black, and blue one as my first Wolverine. There we go. Again, Underworld sculpture. That's the kit built up. So lots of good definition and stuff that you could do with it. Let's take a look at the picture in more detail. As you can see, the claws are painted some kind of a metallic silver. I'll have to think about that, but more than likely I'll end up painting him with the Alclad stainless steel. That's what I'm thinking I'll do. He's got some black and a lot of blue and a lot of yellow, a lot of black pinstriping, I guess you could call it, on the boots. So that's him. As usual, I'll be doing this concurrently with some kind of a starship build. At present, I'm almost finished with my Cardassian Galler class ship. I'm waiting on some switches that are coming in to complete the base. The kit is finished, and I'll have the finale for that very soon on my channel. I've also got the Akira that is very close to being finished. I know I've promised finishing it up before, but hey, I went on vacation, guys. I was out of town for a week, so. And Cylon Centurion from the reimagined Battlestar Galactica is on tap as my next combination figure and lighting kit, and of course my refit, which I'll be getting back to very, very soon, I promise. But getting back to this video blog, this is the guy that I'm going to build, my next superhero, and I'm excited to do him. I haven't done a Wolverine before. He's got some nice color combinations, and he should look good in my superhero pantheon. So anyway, that's my next build, and hope you guys enjoy it. Talk to you soon. More work on Yellow Wolverine. I've gotten all my initial prep work done, and got all the sanding done and filling in all the pits and flashpoints and defects with putty and sanding and putty and sanding, and smoothed out the surface as best I could. And I've done my first round of primering, and I'm pretty pleased. The flashpoints, as you'll recall, ran along the sides, and they are essentially gone. As you can see, along the areas where they used to be, they can no longer be seen. Over on the head, it had a few imperfections that had to be worked on tremendously. It had a dimple, little pit right here in the center that I had to putty and sand, I don't know, about 4 times before I finally got it to where I wanted it. You can't see it anymore. The contact flash from the mold ran along the ear all the way up here. You can probably see a hint, not even. And then it ran along here. That's smooth as a baby's butt. And here. The combination of 320 and then 600 really makes a difference. Look at that. There used to be a big contact ridge right there, and it's all gone. So definitely some meticulousness with the prep work does make a difference. The hands are also prepped, and so are the boots. As far as the, I also applied adhesion promoter before the primer, of course. You can tell the the claws only have adhesion promoter on them. As far as the claws are concerned, you are going to have to do some prep work with the fit so that they fit appropriately in the hands. One of them broke in my hand. I believe it's this one. Yeah, it had a little bubble on the inside, and as I was filing the end, it just snapped. I had to fix it. You can see the pin inside. Again, I used a piece of a paper clip and applied some crazy glue, and it's all fixed. I'm just gonna have to sand it now to get rid of that slight seam there. But it pays to do very careful initial prep work on these figures, because the end result is going to be so much the better if you do. Now that I've got the initial primer, I'll inspect it. Offhand, first impression, I don't see much to be done. I think he'll be alright. I may just leave this coat here and begin to work on my coloring. The coloring will be similar to what the build on Mike Baldwin's Facebook page is. I'll probably use the same color combination. As you can see, black with blue and yellow and red. Don't know about those stripes, those black stripes on the boots. I'm going to have to research some more to see if those were actually there. I don't quite remember. They may just be artistic license from the guy that did this. I don't know if it was Mike Baldwin. Sometimes he has other people do the build out for him. But as you can see right here, there's some black stripes. If that's indeed canon or close to what he looked like in the comic, I'll do it. Yeah, I've got plenty of X-Men comics. I'll look him up, see how he looked. That's pretty close though to what I remember him, so let's see. Oh, that's Batman. Move it, move it. Facebook's a little slow. Okay. Anyway. So that's Wolverine, and I'll come back when I get some more work done. Talk to you later. Some more work on Wolverine. As you can see, got the boots painted, at least the black part. This is the left boot, and looks pretty nice. I like it. The right boot, I'm leaving the mask on because it took a little longer to dry, and I had a little mishap when I touched one of the parts. The paint wasn't dry and it came right off, so I had to power dry it more than I wanted to, and then sand it with some 600 and repaint it. So it's going to sit here tonight. I'm not touching it till tomorrow. I still got the mask on. As far as Wolfie himself, I glued the head on using a pin, and as you can see, there's a very nasty seam that's going to need to be worked on, a la Batman's seam. But unlike Batman, I'm going to have to work the seam all around, even the front, because this is supposed to all be continuous, and it's going to be yellow. The big ears of his helmet are black down to the nose there, but that's all supposed to be continuous yellow with his suit, so that seam needs to disappear. That should be interesting. Anyway, it's what makes these kits so fun. After you're done, you can't believe what you've done. Anyway, that's Wolverine for now, and we'll continue. Talk to you soon. Okay, here's the neck seam after some sanding. It's a lot smoother. and more flush. I'm getting set to apply the Squadron putty. Toughest part's going to be under the chin. I've had a lot of trouble getting in there with the sandpaper, but we'll make do somehow. Alright, talk to you soon. Okay guys, Armando here, back again with the finale on Wolverine. Yellow uniform. This is the 1/6 scale resin kit from Underworld Kits. Mike Baldwin out of the UK is a sculptor. Beautiful kit. As you know, I've done several of his figures, and this is the Wolverine, the yellow uniform. Challenging build in many ways, and a lot of them were my fault because I learned a lot of things about painting here that I will apply for future builds. Let me just go through the different paints that I used. The yellow is the Speeshecker yellow with a touch of red to shift it over to a little bit more of a sunnier yellow. And excuse me if I've gone over some of this in previous video segments, but it's been a while since I filmed this guy, so I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. The blue was a Speeshecker blue, lightened with white until I reached the tone that I thought was the appropriate one. The red is just straight out of the can, Speeshecker. The belt buckle is Tamiya bronze. The skin colors are the scale 75 colors. The eyes are white, flat white Tamiya. The claws are Alclad chrome. And right off the bat, I'll tell you, Alclad chrome does not like Krylon gloss. Don't spray Krylon gloss on the Alclad chrome. It'll take it right off. I had to redo it as late as a few minutes ago, so don't do that. I sprayed them with the Krylon matte as a final sealing agent, and all in all, I'm very happy with how he turned out, even though I had a lot of problems. Some of the problems I had, as I explained, are my own doing, and that's because I kept the paint in the Dixie cups for too long. And I've just come to realize that that's not a good thing to do, because they pick up some of the wax from the Dixie cup and become less soluble and take much longer to dry than normal. Oh, I see a boo-boo there that I'm going to have to fix. I guess you guys can see it there. I'll fix that. Or is that a shadow? No, it's a shadow. Oh, thank God. See what I mean? This kit has just been challenging throughout, even at the end. Anyway, what I really need are little glass jars. The ones that I use are too big for the work I do with these figure kits. I'm going to try and find some small glass jars that I can use to keep the small amounts of paint that I do to retouch and reuse over and over again, because keeping them in the Dixie cups is not a smart thing. After a few hours, they start to eat into the wax of the Dixie cup, and they become different consistency, a lot wetter, and they don't dry even after a couple of days, and they remain tacky. And it makes it a lot harder to retouch stuff. I had some issues with some of the parts on the thighs here that required resanding. I finally gave up and just sanded off the affected paint and remixed it. Luckily, I have more or less the formula for the paint, and I hit the same yellow color, and I was able to retouch it without too much of an issue. But for future reference, that's what I'll do. What else can I tell you? The boots were glued with CA glue. No pinning because of the triangular nature of the area that they joined in. Ooh, excuse me a second here.
Beasley. Wow.
Just watching the NFL draft. I want to see who gets picked. The gloves I did pin. Again, I used the nails, which I cut off the heads and the points to pin them in there. And I showed you how I did the head. So this is my Wolverine. I'll show you a final shot once he's in his menagerie of superheroes over there when I choose a spot for him in a few minutes. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the build, and talk to you soon. So here he is amongst the other superheroes. I've tried to keep him with the Marvel ones on this side, but obviously some DCs get mixed in. One thing I'll tell you is these claws are very delicate, as you might imagine. I popped them off a couple of times after they dried, simply by being careless, and I had to re-glue them back on. So if you do this kit, be careful, obviously. But he is a cool kit. I like him. I've been meaning to do a Wolverine for a while, and I did have this one on the brown one, so I chose to start with a yellow one, and I'm glad I did. He looks really cool. He's a good addition to my superhero gallery here, and I'll definitely display him proudly, as you can see. Anyway, that's Wolverine. Talk to you guys later.